Okay.
Might as well start it.
The-
And welcome everyone on this Tuesday evening for round one of the Mechanics Institute March 2021 Tuesday night marathon. I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me as always is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. How's it going?
Thank you, Abel. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and this is really exciting because we have over 70 players registered
Incredible.
for the TNM, and one open section. This is going to be 8 rounds. It's 2 rounds per evening, game in 35 plus 2 USCF rated, and games manually paired by our chief TD, Dr. Judith Stare. And Grandmaster Nick DeFermian could not join us tonight, but he'll be back next week. And here we are at the top on board one. It is Grandmaster Gadir Guseyanov playing Georgios Solias on board one.
All right. Well, spot the tactic here. White to play and win a piece. I think.
Right off the bat.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. No. Thought I saw something really good. It's close.
Now you have
I'm looking at G4
G4.
to deflect the queen from the protection of the bishop. But the problem is queen takes G4, knight takes C5 is met by queen takes C4. So,
Yeah.
but there's something fishy about black's position here. And Gadir is probably trying to figure out what it is.
And he plays H3.
Okay, well that creates the very strong threat of G4. In fact, black is in some trouble here with the queen.
And let's take a look at take a peek at some of the top games here because we have a lot of strong players, strong competition. Board two, we have international master Brian Escalante Ramirez.
Where's he playing from?
I think he is in Missouri, originally from Peru.
Okay.
I think he's like a collegiate player. I think he goes to one of the top college chess schools. And he's playing black against Vedant Talwalkar.
He already has an easy equality, so the opening has been successful for black.
And over on board three, we have international master Josiah Stearman out of Cal Berkeley, taking on Patrick Donnelly.
And of course, Josiah's got an attacking position here. Boy, I'd be very nervous if I was black here.
And this is kind of like one of the fun elements of an 8 round open section with strong players, because the first few rounds you have people trying to pull the upsets, right? And people getting paired with players they may not normally be paired with. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
It can be fun to watch. It can also be sort of like a shooting gallery.
Yeah, but that's all right.
I've seen the first round of many a TNM where it was like the top half just beat the bottom half, no draws.
Yeah, just like straight. And
straight.
Alexi Roots in the chat. Hey, Alexi.
Yeah, hi, Alexi.
And when you follow those games, there's an element like, well, they're not quality games, but like sometimes you see a legitimate fight, and sometimes you either see the underdog kind of rising up and have an opportunity to do something great, or you see the resiliency of a top player put under pressure and
Absolutely.
working it out.
Oh, there's as much to be learned from these games as any game that you can find.
And moving to board 4, we have Sterling Wells playing white against Grandmaster Jim Tarzan.
And black has gotten rid of his queenside bishop for the knight at some point at f3, so this should be an equal position.
And this is Kenneth Wells. I think Sterling's his middle name. Going up.
There's even possibilities of black developing some pressure on e5.
And on board 5, we have FIDE Master Eric Lee playing David Rakinitz.
David Rakinitz?
Yeah.
And look at this. I mean, did black just sacrifice the exchange with rook takes c6 or rook c6 or something? This, you know, black is a pawn in the exchange down, so this is not good. Yeah. I mean, there's a blockade, but this is lost.
Yeah, very tough already.
Yeah.
And here we have this match. This is International Master Elliot Winslow playing black against Joel Karen.
And this came out of some Carol Khan or something?
Sicilian.
Sicilian. Probably equal. White's got a slight lead in development. He better do something with it because these pawns at e5 and c3 are weak. And this is already shaping up to be a nice endgame for black here.
And board 7, we have Austin Mai. He is playing the TNM, playing white against Nursultan Uzakbayev, playing black. A lot of players. I love it.
Yeah, white's up a pawn, so, you know, you got to give white the advantage here, for sure.
And moving on, we have Marina Xiao, Programming Max, taking on FIDE Master Max Gedajlovic.
Black's looking very good here, of course, with this, you know, strong knight and so on. White needs to try to hold this, but how is that going to happen with knight takes g3 threatens and also bishop f4, and it looks like white's close to collapse here.
And then
yeah, this is not good.
National Master Mike Walder. He's playing white against Austin Mai's brother Ethan Mai.
Well, white's got an edge here, space advantage. These positions are not easy to play. If white plays pawn f5, he can give away the e5 square. You know, black's bishop is ready to take the knight on g5 when it lands on g5, and but black's cramped and needs to get the rook at a8 over to e8 or something like that pretty fast.
And we have, moving on to this game, Pranav Pradeep playing white against Nicholas Wang.
Well, black has lost the right to castle, so white needs to find something to take advantage of his big lead in development. It looks like it should be possible. I mean, for white to, but he's going to have to play vigorously. Moves like g4 look really strong here, pushing the knight back to h6.
Oof, yeah.
To win these kind of positions, you have to be accurate and resolute. If you just mess around and play normal moves, sometimes the positions can't be won. You don't want to give black time to get back in the game.
And
I
going
like G4 as a start, and then maybe knight e4, or even taking on h6 to unbalance the position.
and then moving on to this other game, Alan Finkelstein playing white, and he is playing Ethan Sun, SF Deals.
Well, let's see. Bishop takes g5. I mean, certainly white should take with the bishop, which he does, yeah. And black has yet to land a blow here, so he probably stands worse. These formation of pieces on the king side is not quite convincing enough here.
And a couple other games we'll take a look at before we go back to the top. This is Nathan Fong playing black out of Cal Berkeley. He was part of the winning U.S. Amateur Team West team, Cal B team.
And when is that championship going to be held?
I don't think they've announced when it will be yet.
Okay.
All the amateur tournaments are done, so we have the 4 winners from each region. But I don't think
Do we know people who are bidding on it?
No, they just hold it online.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But still, there has to be an organizer, right?
No, U.S. Chess does it, and then they'll have tournament directors assigned to it.
Oh, I see.
But
interesting.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be like I think it's usually like one same person that they organize it, and then they have the TDs online and do it. If I'm remembering right, they have a TD assigned to wherever the teams are, but I'm curious how they'll do it this year because it's conceivable that the members of the same team may be at different locations, right? So I'm curious what they will do to that. I'm wondering if Judith.
They're going to play it on ICC, and
oh, is that right? They'll play it on ICC. That's terrible. Oh well. Yeah, I mean that's. I personally don't play on ICC, and I haven't in a long time, so I actually can't say whether it's like horrible or not. But
right,
I'm just so used to chess.com, and but yeah, who knows how they'll figure it out this year in terms of how they tournament direct that part. So we'll see what they come up with. All right, let's go back to the top. There's several other games going, but we can't go to each and every game.
Well, Nathan's up a pawn, and that's something. White needs a shot.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good start. All right, so it looks like Solias is up a pawn somehow.
Yeah, this is Gadir has sacked a pawn over on the king side, and over on the queen side, and black's taken the poison pawn.
So is white going to make black pay?
Well, the threat is knight takes c5, and black has to do something about that. Queen a3. Maybe that's the first move I would think of because it threatens the white queen.
Yeah.
And of course, then bishop b5 check, and then king is going to be stuck in the middle a little bit.
Black just got the king out of there.
and left his bishop hanging. Oh well, that's too bad. I don't think this is compensation. Yeah.
So in the chat, is that the Judith? And then Alexi enthusiastically, it is Judith Starre.
Right.
And then I think he was asking, it was Polgar, Judith Polgar. It's funny because, like, people get, like, excited. It was, hey, Judith, like, Judith's there.
A Hungarian Judith.
But every
yeah.
now and then, it's like, oh, it's not Polgar. So, let's go to board 2.
Deer is winning here. He took the bishop. Surprise.
Brian Escalante.
I don't know what black was thinking here. And black is now probably has the initiative and the better game here in this game as well.
And Alexi, Brian Escalante is a UT Dallas student? I guess so, with all the enthusiasm. Yeah, chess team.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't think you have enough exclamation points. We need more.
And Alexi, I'm sorry, but we're rooting for we decided to root for the underdog.
Yeah.
Every game.
And so
and I would say that server busy is the underdog here.
So what? Going to
we don't all we care about is if the underdog wins.
We're that's a San Francisco staple to root for the underdog, right? Because we're considered underdogs ourselves. And here,
look at this.
Stearman and Patrick Donnelly. Whoa!
No surprise that Stearman is gathering.
I just heard massive lightning outside. Like massive lightning.
Is that right?
Thunder, yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. So if we lose power, we'll know why.
That's right. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that.
Suddenly.
I did not even think of that. Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope that's not the case, because chess needs to live on when everything else doesn't, right? So Patrick Donnelly using a lot of time here.
Well, black is under pressure. I want to do something to resolve the situation here on the king side for black. So what about g5? It looks crazy, but knight d5, and then maybe bishop takes d5, followed by h6. And just try to, hunker down there on the king side.
Just try to lock it up, huh?
Yeah, I want to lock it up. I don't know how to defend these positions, but black has to do something. If white just keeps building up here, g5.
And let me go.
G5 looks like a threat.
Let me go back to board 1. There have been moves played. Okay. And it looks...
We were writing Gadir's opponent off, or at least I was.
Well, what do you think now?
Still down a piece. The threat, black can't develop anything, and that's a problem as well. I mean, if I'm black, I'll just play queen takes c2. What else?
Just grab a pawn.
What else can he do? I mean, just keep grabbing pawns and hope that white can't break through. But
isn't it interesting? Just like this position that, like, you can barely move, can't even do anything.
And he's a piece down. So against the strongest player in the tournament. So go Yorgos. That's what.
That is a challenge. Yeah.
And is he playing from Greece?
I don't know. That
would be something to find out. He's got the, I think the Greek flag right there.
Got the flag.
Is that the Greek flag?
That is correct. Yeah.
And he's seems to have a Greek name. So,
Going on to Kenneth Wells and Jim Tarzan, Grandmaster.
oh yeah, we haven't seen Tarzan's game yet.
And we looked at it briefly, but not in great detail.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So black has won himself a pawn in the middle of the board. That usually is not a good sign
Right.
for white.
Because you got the whole center.
Well, let's see. Bishop takes d5. And then f4. But that's just going to leave white at a positional disadvantage anyway, even if it does regain the pawn. I mean, bishop takes d5. Black could castle in that position would be very strong, I think.
So if we're hunting around for potential upsets, what do we think here? This is Joel Kyron against Elliot Winslow.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what do you see? Because I know you're seeing...
I'm seeing black with pressure.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, to an untrained eye, it looks, wow, even material, it's almost near an end game, but...
Well, the end game is favorable for black here, and
got the rook on a3.
Black can play maybe bishop c5 and then try to infiltrate with the king to c5.
And then white's
white's just passively placed here. The rook is tied down to the defense of the a2 pawn.
Isolated
Here
pawn.
comes bishop c5. So, and these pawns, there's entry points for the black king, d4, e4, maybe. Look at this black rook is so strong at a3.
It's like you can see.
However, white could play bishop c1, maybe. Wow. And now king d3. I don't know. I mean, black still has to get through.
Look at the position in this game here. FIDE Master Max Gedajlovic against Marina Xiao.
And white has really held on. I mean, we'll have to give her that because it was completely... It still looks bad here, obviously. f3 is hanging. I don't see how white can escape this.
And jumping back to board 1. Gadir looks like
Lexi's asking if we can show Brian's position. She's going to send him a screenshot.
Yeah, there we go. It looked like Gadir picked off a rook and a lot of other stuff. So that's a good position to show for Brian right there.
So bishop takes b2, and then black is already up, has won a pawn somehow. This is, of course, the threat is knight c6 check. And black is going to take care of that, but black is on his way to wrapping this up, I would think.
He's got a lot of time left. Moving on to Josiah Stearman. And it looks like Patrick Donnelly picked up a pawn here.
Yeah, here we go again. The hunting the pawns on the queen's side. This reminds me of the Gadir game. Well, it's not hard to see that white has an attack here. And the important thing is bringing it home, and how white is going to do that. I guess move the bishop at g5 and then play h5. discovered attacks on the queen might be good here too, just to
There it is, knight g3.
prepare. Black's still alive after queen c3. Although, wait a minute, e5? Yeah, poison pawn. That's the most poisoned pawn ever seen.
Well, we'll see how Stearman follows up with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, with the idea of maybe e5 coming up here. Or bishop f6 and then e5. I think black is about to e5, bishop g2, ef6, take back with the pawn. Oh, I could just move the bishop to c1 and it's gonna.
I think board 1 is on the verge of victory here. This is the position.
There's got to be something for white here. Decisive.
So I think this game will be over soon here.
Oh, here comes the 7th rank plus an extra rook and an extra knight.
And Eric Lee has won his game against David Rekonitz. Right.
Gadir is in the man to beat in this tournament.
Yeah, but at least there's going to be a lot of people gunning for him. And let us not forget, Kyron Griffith is still in the mixed.
Oh, yeah, where's Kyron?
He took a bye for the first round.
Okay.
And Tyler Wang apparently got an upset. He's actually a Scholastic player, but he's actually kind of a stronger Scholastic player. He defeated Brian Lynch, who's a 1700 player. So nice win by Tyler Wang. We weren't following that game, but congrats. That was a big win, but not a shocker because we do know he can play. All right, moving on. Let's look at Mike Walder's game because it looks like there's a lot of action here.
That's Mike Walder all over. This is completely over, of course. Wow, here comes Mike. Oh my gosh, f5 clearing the way for queen h6.
Yeah.
Ooh, brutal.
That's how you do it. Hey, let's take a look at, we were looking at Nicholas Wang earlier, and he looked like he was in a little bit of trouble, or at least an uncomfortable position, but this is where we're at now.
Okay, black has managed to give white this weakness at e3, but on the other hand, that pawn at e3 is useful. It restricts the black bishop in certain ways, and it's restricting the black knight too. So, and remember, black can't castle, which black would probably like to do here. So this is a tough little position. White needs to play accurately because black, if you give black a whole bunch of moves, he's going to be in good shape. Maybe black will play h4 and rook h5. So, knight g6 check. I don't know if that's going to help. I think that's just going to help black. Bishop takes e7. Bishop takes d6. Rook d6. King e7. You can see that exchange really didn't benefit.
Like took some pressure off, huh?
Yeah. That's kind of, got a bit of an amateurish look to it. But very common kind of, it's difficult for lower ranked players to keep the pressure, to keep the tension.
Right.
Keeping tension is a foreign concept. there's something in the human brain that wants to resolve tension. And grandmasters and very strong players know that you keep elasticity and tension in a position um, in order to do all sorts of things, create more possibilities for yourself, and
Wow, you sound like a damn scientist, Paul. Talking about elasticity and tension
yeah, there you go.
and
Chess has its scientific aspects, doesn't it?
because it is tempting to want to stay active and do something, right?
Yeah, but exchanging pieces, which is what we're talking about here, without really giving thought to what's up, what the position's going to look like up ahead, um, is sort of just relieving tension to relieve tension.
Look at this position here with
This is not good for black here.
this
These
is
pieces on the queen side are out of the game here.
this is sort of what he's been trying to build towards, right?
Yeah, I mean, white's now got this beautiful f5 square. This is black is in some serious trouble here. I mean, knight f6. I think white's probably got a forced win. This is maybe a good idea, is to get rid of this, at least one of the attacking pieces, by playing rook c1. I doubt it's going to help, but there's at least it's got that idea, which I approve of in principle. Not having enough time to analyze everything that's going on
So
probably doesn't help.
nice attack.
The white queen is now situated to come in anyway. This is looking really grim for black. I mean, queen g5 is just a simple move like that. Threatens rook f6, threatens knight f5, threatens, brings the other rook into the game. I mean, if nothing else, queen g5 is strong.
Tough. It's very tough.
I'm sure there's other strong moves here. Knight f5. E5 looks like it might win a piece here. I think white's got an embarrassment of good moves. I think E5 looks like it comes close to just winning a piece.
Doesn't even think he needs that. Just plays knight f5 here.
Yeah, that threatens queen g5 with a vengeance.
Elliot Winslow gets the win in his game.
Wow. Okay.
Nice win. As Stearman's working this one out, let's check back on Jim
He doesn't have far to
Tarzan.
go.
Jim Tarzan playing black against Kenneth Wells.
Josiah is going to chalk this one in. And black is doing great in this game, of course. I mean, this has been a disaster for white, who's down a pawn and position here.
And checking on.
This is terrible. Sorry, Sterling.
Brian Escalante and Vedant.
And we saw him. He was a pawn up. And of course, in these positions, you have to be careful. The bishops, all these diagonals, and if the black bishop goes back to a7, then bishop a3 check or something.
But what happens here? Because white's threatening the bishop, but then the bishop on b2 is looking at g7 over there.
That's true. But what happens after f6, maybe? Bishop has to come out the other way. Then black might have knight c3. I don't know.
But
Oh yeah, that's a piece hanging at
yeah, there's a
b7.
piece hanging right there. Yeah.
But then the knight's hanging at d3. So this is all very complicated. So we should just move on.
Because it's too much. Here we go. This is Alan Finkelstein against.
No, this is interesting position, of course.
Look at this one. Playing Ethan Sund.
Oh yeah, I thought White was doing well earlier on, and
Still doing well.
If White can play e3 and chase out this knight here, maybe play knight f2 first, and then follow it up with pawn to e3. It's a lot of it's tactical. This is a tough little game. Black's got this knight on g4. Maybe knight takes c5. And then black could play knight takes e2 check, rook takes e2, rook c5. So there's some tricks here.
Austin Mai also got the win.
Okay.
Wow. Let's go back to this game. Jim Tarzan.
Tarzan was just all over his opponent. That game looked like it was almost over. So black took another pawn with knight takes f2, uncovering on the queen, and white is just white. I mean, knight takes h1 is simple, but maybe there's also rook d1, rook e1, and then knight takes h3 check, wins another pawn. This is so awful. Sorry. Say it. So that's got to be that's probably the finish here. Rook d1, and Tarzan took there, keeping it simple. 2 pawns ahead. It's it's hard to fault black for that. Plus a lead in development. Very, very dismal position for white.
Back to Stearman, trying to see how he continues.
So white threw in e5, trying to win a piece, as we thought. And black responded, oh, it's black's move. This is just crushing. It wins a piece.
I love your definitive analysis. This is just crushing. This is terrible. This is all.
Well, I'm trying to stay awake over here.
We don't sugarcoat it. We just say it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm paid to make sweeping generalizations and harsh judgments.
Yeah, you believe in the truth, so the truth comes out, right? And here's David Askin playing Sebi Suarez, but David's a tough player, and
well, now black. This is a strange hanging pawn situation with rook and knight, rook and 2 knights versus queen. Yikes! Black better get something going here.
Right? Yeah, black's
This is
in
not.
trouble.
This is a serious trouble for the Sebi Meister.
Yeah, he is down material for sure.
Yeah, g4, knight a4. I think white's just on his way to winning this.
And going back to Stearman's game, because his opponent is going to be under 4 minutes. And he's trying to figure out what to do.
That's not, being low on time. I mean, if queen takes c1, rook c1, knight d5, then white just plays bishop d5 and knight e7 check and wins the piece that way. So there's just no way out for black here.
Like it doesn't even matter to trade the queens, right?
Trading queens is just going to, you know,
It's like makes it worse almost.
yeah. You know, e5 is just too powerful. Well, white had numerous ways to win this game, I think. And this is just part of
Look at this position here. This is Michael Xiao against Arthur Liu. Oh, just took a pawn. Michael appeared to put a tough fight against
this is a tough, you know, it's going to be difficult for black to, well, I would say black is probably winning, but this is, you know, it's going to be hard to play, get a pawn break in here.
And then all the white's pawns are on white
black
squares.
Black can't play pawn to e4 check, for example. So this is a tough little position here.
Mike Walder,
even though a pawn down, white maybe, you know, I'm not confident that white can hold this, but there's some drawing chances.
And going back to this game we were looking at, this is Pradeep playing white against Nicholas Wang. A lot of stuff got traded. One of the rooks got traded off. But now what looked in the beginning like a game of a lot of pressure by white is the pressure sort of receding.
Black is slightly better because of the weak pawns.
The e3, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, black has more targets to sort of more ways to move around and create trouble. I think white's more limited by what he can do here.
And black can take sort of a patient approach.
Yeah, like black could, you know, try to play the knight to c4. He can try to play pawn e5 and bring the king up, and yeah. So slightly better for, yeah. I mean, white has to play some, you know, trench warfare or something here to try to hold this. It's definitely better for black.
Let's go back and look at Brian Escalante and Vedant. Look at those bishops for Brian. Well, both players. This is like bishops all over the place.
Vicious bishops.
The vicious bishops.
Vicious bishops. What about bishop e5 here? Is black giving up the exchange? Bishop e5, knight c3, bishop b8, knight b1, bishop a7. This is making my head spin here. Oh my gosh.
And played.
Bishop e5. This black needs some very accurate calculation here to make knight c3 work. I'm not sure that it does.
Oh, yeah. Knight c3. Right, bishop c3, rook c3.
Rook d3.
Or rook d3, but...
and then if you take on b7, black can take on c3.
b7.
But on knight c3, white can also play bishop takes b8. Taking a rook. All right, now black takes a rook on b1. And then white can take a bishop on a7.
Wow, look at that.
Black gives up the exchange. So, you know, white did something really good here. It might still be difficult, But if I'm white, I'm ecstatic that I won the exchange after being a pawn behind. You know.
Yeah, it was a little thing too, a little simple move. Elliot Winslow's in the chat, checking out the games. And we did
Yeah,
we did look at your
I'm
game.
not sure what should have happened there. Oh, if black had knight c3, probably not. And now Kyron's like knight b4 gets rid of the bishop pair. Yeah, this was really well. White kept his head and has some real chances here to hold the game, if not even win the game.
And this is always tough for Sriram. Sriram's in the chat also. It's always a challenge for the lower rated players, right? Because they have to sort of be precise. Titan chess. Yep, we were watching your game too.
But this is a great, I mean, I don't know who server busy is, but it's a great opportunity here, being against an international master.
And that
This
is
could be the upset of the round for sure.
Josiah Stearman getting it done here. That's the final position.
Okay, convincing enough.
I'm convinced. Wow, look at this. And this is Michael Xiao against Arthur Liu.
Okay. Oh, now, okay, so the queen side gets eliminated. And that is very helpful for white, of course.
And Austin Mai is saying it. The first tournament of mechanics, he got destroyed by John Donaldson.
I'm not sure that white can hold this. I'd be very happy to be black here. The king can march in very far, and then you can try to play g5, g4.
And Arthur Liu has declined a draw offer.
Well,
which you'd expect.
Yeah, you don't want to, It's possible it is a draw, but I mean, now this could be a draw. Ooh, f4. That allows pawn e4. That's just nuts. That's exactly what we were talking about activity.
Yeah, that seemed like the wrong way to go because now.
Yeah. No, it seems like the wrong way to go. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing we were just talking about of playing activity just for activity's sake. It doesn't make sense to do that, right?
So we're gonna do a check-in on. Well, now Tarzan looks like
this is white. White shot himself in the foot there.
It looks like Tarzan's gonna close the show here.
Yeah, this is black as a piece up and crushing white. So that's not.
All right, let's take a look at Brian Escalante, who got himself in a little bit of trouble here. Can he get out of it?
So knight c3, he's lost the a6 pawn. So white should just defend it, like with rook b2 or something, and that defends the 7th rank as well. Although knight d1, I don't know, knight d1, rook c2, maybe. I don't think black's going to get anywhere with that. Rook b2, knight d1, rook c2. Can you play knight f2?
Sriram and Kyron are Rook A C1.
Oh, and Rook AC1, Knight A2, Rook C7. That's a bit simpler. Yeah, this is White is playing the game of the round here. If he can pull this off. Rook C1, Bishop F2 check. Is that possible? I'm looking at some wild tries here. Rook C1, Rook D2. I guess not. Oh, Bishop A8. Okay, that keeps it simple. Boy, we got some. Okay, so what? Black plays Knight B1, Rook B1, and then White. Does White have winning chances there? Giving back the exchange? I think not. I think that was a mistake.
And Arthur Liu did win his game.
Yeah.
So he did convert that game.
Oh, wait a minute. Knight C7. King C6.
King D6.
What's going on here? Rook F7? Oh, I see. He had to play King G6. Rook F7, Bishop D4. So what would have happened if White had played Knight C7? We're trying to figure that out. King G6, but then Rook A7.
And both players with about equal amount of time.
This is looking like an escape here.
For Black.
Knight C7, King C6. Yeah, Rook F7, Bishop D4. So, and that's not gonna, I don't think White has enough there with his scattered pieces all over the place.
And that's what he has to be thinking about. Unfortunately, time is running low.
Christian, after Knight C7, King C6, Rook A7, Knight B5 is not checked.
He said
King is on C6.
He admitted he's hallucinating in the chat.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
then Josiah's in the chat pointing that out.
We love hallucinations on this show. Yeah, just keep hallucinating. That way you can, you won't be able to see my horrible mistakes. White gets some kind of nominal winning chances after Rook F7.
So now you're saying Bishop D4.
Yeah, then Knight B4, but then certainly Black should be able to dislodge the Knight. Could you just play Rook A4? I guess then, Josiah likes Black. Yeah, I can understand that. That's the thinking here. Black wins the A2 pawn and then somehow wins with this 3 versus 3 structure here.
I like Black just by virtue of if he can equalize the material from what it was, he's still an international master with more time and at least looking even.
Yeah. Josiah is probably right. Just in terms of that, even though White should be able to
and the bishop
easily put up some barricade there with the Knight and the Rook, but the 900-point rating differential.
But you're saying Bishop D4, and then And then what if rook f4? Oh, then you play e5 or something?
Well, the knight's hanging at a6, so that's a big issue here after bishop d4. And black plays bishop b6. Maybe this is somehow more precise. He's trying to finesse this knight somehow.
And black played that quick rook a4.
So this is a little funny because the pawn at g7 is now hanging after the knight moves. So I think that the a2 pawn is just toast, and black can probably play bishop d4 here anyway. He's going to have to. No. Oh, I see. He wants to play rook d2 after rook g7.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Now, white can just easily hold here by keeping the rook on the f file, I think, or finding a good square for the knight, like an e4 or something.
But white at 2.5 minutes, that's no small thing.
Yeah, this should not be that difficult to draw, I don't think.
We see it so often where one little slip up.
I mean, rook g7, rook d2, the knight could move maybe to f4 and let black take on f2 and then play king h1. I mean, even that's not going to be hardly anything for black. Black has to keep his head here. White has to keep his head here and not fall into some. Okay. Now knight f4 maybe. Let black take on f2. Rook b7 pointed out. Well, then king c6. And
Jonah Bush is asking, is rook and bishop versus rook theoretically a draw?
I'm not going to answer that, Jonah. You should know the answer to that. It's no. It is a theoretical draw, depending on the position. It always depends on the position. Yeah, I see the e-pawn runs. Okay, so if white plays knight f4, black will run up with the e-pawn and make a queen. And
white is under 1 minute. There, knight f4 played.
Should be a draw, I think. Although it's true that the white king going into the corner is not much fun.
And white has offered a draw.
That always happens, doesn't it? The player is getting attacked.
But yeah, like I mean, with less than a minute left, doesn't that indicate a little bit of fear of like what's to come?
It's just, it's wrong in so many ways. It just, let me count the ways. And of course, right, it's true. If rook f2, if white can take the e pawn and the h7 pawn, then of course it's a theoretical draw, but yeah.
And Reman 12 is right. It's you're gonna have to show me that
exactly.
This is for real. And is there? Wait a minute! Like what happened here? Jumping to this game, Sebi won. against David Askin. And it looked like he was like in trouble. And wow, so this was the position.
This was a huge upset because the position looked like it was lost for black.
Yeah, what happened here?
Oh, can't play rook c3 because of queen d1 mate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ah.
And then it kind of went down from there.
Oh, this is a winning position here, but it looks like, yeah, this rook c3 is a blunder.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so far something. Wow.
Wow.
So big win, but not shocking because we know Sebi is
lost a whole rook.
Very strong.
Amazing.
And that's the one thing about
what a comeback, Sebi.
His USCF rating is not even where his actual strength is.
You got lucky there.
But he
box.
yeah. Back to this position.
Yeah. Well, that was a nice opportunistic win. That's what you have to do. You have to be opportunistic and
Sebi the luck box, as Elliot Winslow.
So there must be some problems here. What happens after rook takes f2? What's black thinking about here? And we're hoping that black is thinking and that it's not some
Nope, and played.
Yeah, finally played rook f2.
And he was working out the moves because now with under a minute, he's putting white under a lot of pressure. He's got to look at his clock.
And Elliot said he would have taken with the bishop and played e5. So we get, but white could have played king f1 if it took with the bishop. So this looks better to do it this way. Boy, that knight looks miserable on h3. Ugh. Can black really win this with this reduced material?
And Nicholas Wang won that game. He came back and won that game.
My 60 memorable draw offers.
And look at that. Like, he's trying to bring the king as like an attacking piece.
This is called a serious positional advantage for black.
Yeah, where's the knight going?
And white's, I think this is a good move that he moved the rook over onto the other side. I like that. Rook a4. I think that looks like a fine idea there. Now the knight and the rook can operate sort of independently of each other.
And in a mild upset, it looks like...
and this is going to be a great time scramble game. We should all be watching this.
Ethan's son drew Alan Finkelstein, which is a mild upset.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Why didn't white play knight? Well, okay. White's just pursuing this bizarre strategy, but maybe it's a good one. Boy, that black king got far down into the white position there. Bishop g1 and e3. Is that enough for a win? Not with those two white pawns there, I don't think.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
White should have played king g2. I guess, yeah, white should have played king g2. That was a h5, the only hope here, right?
Wow, that king is just out of place for white right there.
And black gets to take that pawn. This is not, white's got a this doesn't look like a draw anymore, but could be. This is losing, I think. Although the rook is on the long side, so the king h1.
Oh, I guess that with, yeah, wow.
No.
No, that's yep. Brian Escalante.
White played it wrong.
Wow, gets the win. Came back and just used I am
That
pressure.
was really quite a scrappy game. This was the game of the round, I think, in a lot of ways, because it really was a hard-fought
I messed
game
up.
and
V, uh, v,
a
Ch-
seesaw battle.
v
It
Chess
really
Master. Is that you, Vidot? Yeah, he's like he messed it up. Yeah, that was your chance. It was tough because you're dealing with your emotions, your time pressure, the position, and just like
slimy salami. Who's slimy salami?
yeah, of course, Elliot.
Elliot comes up with a genius.
And Judith, are there still games going? And if so, give me a handle, and then I can follow the game because all the games I had up are finished. It looks like. What a game!
Thanks
though.
everybody for watching. This is like this is the premier tournament in the United States outside of the U.S. Championship. Take it from me.
Not going to argue with that. And since we have a lot of people on right now, we're just going to brag about it because we're really excited about it. This Saturday, we're going to have a Scholastic tournament, a free Scholastic tournament. We're partnering with the Thompson Family Foundation. That's the foundation created by Golden State Warrior Klay Thompson and his family. And we're doing a free tournament on Saturday on chess.com for the kids, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. I put the information in the chat. Open to any Scholastic player. Any Scholastic player. And then at 5:30 to 6:30, we have a special 1-hour arena on chess.com open to all the kids participating with some special guests playing chess in the arena. And if you want to find out who those guests are, tune in to our broadcast because we'll be covering the whole event live. And if you're a Scholastic player, whatever your strength, it's an unrated tournament. Come out and have fun because you never know who you might be playing in the arena.
And one thing's for sure, you'll be playing chess and having fun.
You'll be playing chess and having fun. And don't forget who's sponsoring it. So keep that in mind. Yes, Judith. Mike Hilliard, good question.
I've always asked myself that question. What should we do with Mike Hilliard? Actually, I love Mike a lot. He's
half point. Half point.
mechanics trustee.
Yeah,
and,
half point. Totally fine. Sometimes
Elliot says he found a picture of you with 100 kids.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Me? Oh, I've been surrounded by more than 100 kids. I've been surrounded by 1,000 kids playing chess.
Incredible.
Before,
yeah.
Hey, Paul, you want to? I gotta connect with Judith real quick.
Yeah.
Entertain the audience.
Okay, I'll try to find a way to do that. And I'll see you when you get back. So, folks, yeah, a little bit of background history. This is the Tuesday night marathon in one of its many permutations. This tournament was started back in 1972 by Raymond Conway, the chess director at the time of the Mechanics Institute, former San Quentin prison guard, and the director of the club when I joined at 12 years old. And I imagine the club was a pretty active chess club, of course, before the Fisher boom. But when the Fisher boom hit, there was probably, hundreds of people now coming into the club for the first time. And Conway started these tournaments, these 12-round, one game a week tournaments with adjournments. And the games were played in the evening. And over the years, the tradition has continued. The rounds have gotten shorter. Um, uh, by 10 rounds, then 9 rounds and 8 round tournaments were held. And the tournament has successfully jumped the rails and gone online, really with pretty seamlessly under Judith and Abel's steering, the Mechanics Institute Chess Club during the pandemic. And this is an incredible event in itself. We have 70 plus players playing, two grandmasters, one playing from Azerbaijan and Gusenev, and the other playing from Portland, I guess, is where Tarzan is. And these are regular appearing players in this tournament. So this is a historic event. To me, it's becoming like an American prestige event. I think at some point it has to be recognized in that way. Like
the Library of Congress and the Smithsonian and all of those need to recognize the Tuesday Night Marathon.
Well, like the American Open or the U.S. Open or something like that. A tournament that's got this kind of staying power.
Well, especially because it's different in that it's a weekday event, right? It should have its uniqueness also in that it's a weekday event. Because you have the American Open and you have all these other tournaments, all weekend events. But like, what's a heritage event that's been around this long that's during the weekday?
Yeah, that's another thing. And now, of course, you had to live in the Bay Area to play it before it went online. But so the pairings are up.
Pairings are up.
And I'm going to take a short break here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to think about Nixon plus Fisher versus Obama versus Carlson. Obama and Carlson.
What is that? A hand and brain
consultation match.
That's pretty funny. All right.
Yeah, very representative individuals of their time. Very interesting.
Pairings are up, everyone. I'll put the link in the Twitch chat, so if anyone's following, they want to see the pairings, just click on there to see the pairings. But it shows Kapil Karan Kapilak playing Gadir Guseynov, Brian Escalante, who survived his match and got it done, plays National Master Tom Mazer, Jeffrey Wang against Josiah Stearman, Jim Tarzan against Chelsea Ju. That'll actually be a fun match to watch, as will Aaron Nikolsky against Eric Lee, and on and on and on. Good matches. Players with one win, which goes pretty deep down the list. And then Kyron Griffith and Adam Stafford playing. And just looking. Pranav Sairam against Sos Hakobian. That should be an interesting one to watch. So great matches. Great matches coming up. And we were talking about the Clay Thompson event that we have this Saturday on chess.com for the mechanics. The following weekend is our annual. Kyron had a half-point bye in the first round, so that's why he got a half point. He took a half-point bye. We have our 2021 San Francisco Scholastic Championship. So that is on Saturday, March 20th. A completely free event, as is the Clay Thompson event. Totally free. And the San Francisco Scholastic Championship, we're going to have 5 sections that are non-rated, played on ChessKid, based on grade level. But we're going to have 3 USCF rated sections played on chess.com. Under 1,000, under 1,600, and we will have a 1,600 plus section. So you strong players that are listening to this stream, playing in this event, register for the 2021 San Francisco Scholastic Championship, March 20th, because it is rated. The section's going to be 1,600 plus, and we're going to have these cool medal prizes that we will mail out as awards. So we want to see the strong kids competing, and we want to break 300 players online. So make Judith happy, show up and play, and that is March 20th, completely free. So we're having back-to-back free events at the Mechanics Institute for the kids. An event with the Thompson Family Foundation, and then the San Francisco Scholastic. And why stop the plugging here? On April 10th through the 11th, the Mechanics Institute, in partnering with Chess Weekend with Glenn Panner and Merritt Thorpe, we're organizing the 2021 U.S. Junior Chess Congress. So nonstop action at the Mechanics Institute. When will Mechanics have over-the-board events coming up? When the restrictions are opened up at the Institute, because that's something that we don't have control over. We will be back doing live chess at Mechanics. We'll probably have more limited spacing. Hey, San Jose Chess Club says hi. I know some of you guys are playing chess. That's Alan Finkelstein, Pranav Sairam, and Abi Pinaglipati. Thanks you guys for playing. And they're actually holding over the board tournaments. They're keeping it with few players, but San Jose Chess Club's holding some over the board, and Mechanics hopes to pretty soon, as soon as they open up. We actually have some exciting things in the works in terms of when we do open. I hesitate to spill some of the beans, but there's certain kinds of events that are limited to 10 players that are FIDE important. We're looking into some of that when we are able to open up, but we are already in discussions of strategizing how we open up when we do. So we are hoping that when things ease up in San Francisco, we will be back offering events, with all the safety protocols, of course. But we hope to jump on that train like San Jose Chess Club. I think they've had like 6 to 8 players for their tournaments, and they're a great bunch of guys. So I think you can just look them up. T-3 according to Judith, and then we're gonna get the round started. Get ready. Go to live chess. She's reminding everyone. The one thing that tournament directors that pair manually do not like, and the Thursday night marathon players, many of them were killing me last week because I was the one starting the games, is when you are not on live chess and then I have to call you. There is a player playing on one of the top boards that's a titled player that I had to call and interrupt him from making a pizza so that he would go to his board and start his game. I'll just leave it at that.
He shall remain nameless, huh?
He shall remain nameless. But he said he enjoyed the pizza, so it was worth it, I guess. T-2 minutes. Los Baños. Yeah, Los Gatos is definitely a better name than Los Baños.
Los Baños Chess Club. Donde es el Baños Chess Club? Yeah.
T-1 minute for round 2. Oh my gosh, I gotta update the stuff in the stream here. Always forgetting to do that because paying attention to many things. I got to put round 2 on the Twitch stream. I got to do round 2 on the OBS.
We'll try to give Elliot 2 lumps.
We covered Elliot's game. He took care of business in the.
So who's Gusenev playing?
He's playing Karun. Hold on, I gotta pull it up because I'm gonna like chop it up. Kapil Karunakaran. Tom Mazur's playing Brian Escalante. Jeffrey Wang is playing Stearman, and Tarzan's playing Chelsea. Eric Lee's playing Aaron Nikoski, Elliot, Raynon Lardent, and on and on and on and on. 35 boards with 3 players with half-point buys. That's
incredible.
That is 73 players, folks. 73
We're
players.
records.
Breaking records, taking names, all of that stuff. Let me change the round time on the Twitch stream.
Amazing.
The games are underway. What a game by Brian Escalante there. That was there we go.
Yeah, that was the game of the round, I think. Just because it had a lot of interesting moments, and the game hovered on a wing and a prayer there for both players for a long time.
And here we go.
Alexi, if you're still around, how's your rabbit doing? Is
Einstein.
Alexi still in the chat?
Einstein. What's up with Einstein?
Yeah. So Gusenev is playing his favorite accelerated dragon.
And Austin Mai, he's all, I missed the pro player cutoff when I was announcing who's playing who.
The pro player cutoff.
Yeah, you missed the cut. Barely. And that would be board 7. Kevin Fong is playing white against Austin Mai. There you go. You got mentioned.
How did oh yeah, so the top 10 all won their games, I guess, or something like that?
Yeah, the let's see at what point there was a cutoff where there was we did have a couple of upsets in that round.
Yes.
Let me look those up because
this is like the U.S. Open or something. This huge open tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Finkelstein, he drew with Ethan Sun. That was an upset for sure. Tyler Wong beating a 1700.
Stearman's also playing. If you play the accelerated dragon, you're going to be happy watching this round because Stearman and Gusenev are both playing.
Accelerated dragon. Yeah.
And apparently Surfer Busy is not online according to Judith.
Oh man, he's probably stinging after that, letting that go. And it's tough, right? I mean, it's easy to say, wow, this is like an easy draw, but when you're not the title player and you're running out of time, like the optimal play is completely out the window. And it caught up to him. Here we go. We have King Smasher against King and Queen are the usernames. Eric Lee, FIDE Master against Aaron Nikoski. I'm looking around to see if there's any games that have like immediate chaos right from the jump.
This is you love that chaos stuff. I like the quiet positions where I
love to see where it's just like everything's going crazy.
Well, King and Queen. Who's King and Queen 2017 again?
Eric Lee.
So this is one of those, London's, not London system, but like a King's Indian reverse, or I don't know what you call this. White's played, usually has the pawn at c3. This is an Alekine's defense.
Yeah.
I don't know this stuff.
This would be like if I was playing Kyron Griffith. Like this would.
No,
This is what
White
would be
will
happening.
usually take on g6 here. This goes back to the Fischer-Spassky match.
And if any of you should be watching this and you have not done so already, but I think pretty much everyone should have done this, under the Golden Gate Bridge there, just click follow if you don't follow us already. So you'll be notified when we do cool stuff. So click on that follow button.
The ratings we're looking at here are rapid ratings.
They're regular online chess.
Oh, yeah.
Chess.com ratings.
Chess.com ratings, right.
But the ratings that we have, where you look at the pairings, those are USCF ratings. So when you click the link to look at the standings and pairings right there, the ratings we have there are their online ratings. It's either their over-the-board rating or their online regular rating, whichever's higher.
The round has started. V Chess Master, is that
Yeah, it started now.
the round has started.
8 p.m. Get online.
Yeah, get online and do it. So d5 is a twist on the usual, what, knight c3 or something, or b3, or I don't know.
You're asking
again, yeah, you're the Alekhine expert, right?
D5, it's normally played, and I think
What is black supposed to do here? Take on f3?
take on F3. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I wish I knew this.
Yeah, you take on F3. Something seems a little different here. Why do I think that? Yeah, take on F3 and then go to, who knows, 95, and then I'd end up losing the game. So.
You're the one that plays the Alekhine. You're supposed to know this.
Yeah, but I'm also 1800 going on 1400, so so what do I know? Let's look at well, just because I think this is interesting. Look at Gadir's game on board 1. Gadir's already got a pawn on A3.
He ran the A pawn up. That happens sometimes.
I
in
gotta
the
see
dragon.
who's
And so black has buttered white up on the long diagonal.
oh,
Maybe
okay.
he's going to play knight g4 here or something like that to try to. Still, white's solid here, hasn't lost anything yet. Knight g4 could even be met by bishop to d2, as passive as that looks.
And occasionally we do get Scholastic players that they play our chess kit tournaments, they start doing really well, and then they're going to make the transition to the regular tournaments, but some of these players need to learn etiquette in certain areas, and we're here to help them with that. I think it's happening in one of the games that Vedant's playing is opponents offering him a draw like on move 4, 5, and 6, and it's a Scholastic player, so Judith can step in and help along with that. That's something that we've done. Call to the parent direct and say, hey, can you let them know to cut it out? So anyway, all right, moving along. Let's see.
Is there a way to cut that part out of? Probably not the chess.com.
No, we can communicate with the players via chat, but
Right.
if that doesn't help, I mean, we'll call direct and say,
So,
we call the parent because it's
right.
yeah.
So if e takes d5, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes a1, white could play knight b6 maybe. So that's not anything special for black. I still fail to see what black is getting here. Knight takes d5, queen d5, now maybe c4 and rook, move the rook over. I mean, black's equalized, I suppose. And this, if this a2 pawn is lost, that's the end of the game. And
let's take a look at the other.
White needs to play actively here.
Let's take a look at the other accelerated dragon, Josiah Stearman, against Jeffrey Wang. Jeffrey Wang, tough player. He upset Elliot Winslow in the last TNM, coming back from a worse position.
There's certain players that play these positions really well for black. Traditionally, players like Walter Brown, Gusenev is another one. I mean, these are. Bobby Fischer played a lot of these kind of black side Maroczy binds with a fianchetto. It's never really gone out of fashion. There are players like Karpov that were so deadly with white in these positions. And Petrosian, there are other players that were just so good with the white pieces. But the black side of this had its, like I said, has its own adherents. Donaldson, Gusenev, Stearman.
Looking at this is kind of an intriguing matchup. This is Pranav Sairam taking on Sacrifice and Crush, Sauce Hakobian.
Sacrifice and Crush has the best chess game. Sacrifice and Crush has not a good opening here, though. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, I myself, find myself playing these rat defenses and whatever else they're called, usually not successfully.
And here's another player from the San Jose Chess Club, Abi Pinaglipati, playing black. Against Sanjiv Anand.
Wow, this is very tense here.
And it was Abi who played the Alekhine here.
Yeah, it's got that Alekhine look. Well, white has, a lot of pressure, but there's also this weak little pawn formation there.
Oh, we're seeing some Alekhine tonight.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What is up with that? Yeah.
I like the idea of maybe, so black just played a5. I like the idea of white maybe trying to play king g2, h3, and bishop g4. I mean, white's got to try to find something to do here.
Let me pull up some games.
d5? What happens here on d5? If bishop takes b2, pawn takes c6. So the black knight moves, but then bishop takes f6. I don't know. I'm not sure what black is doing here. d5 looks like a strong move for white.
And we've got a couple more games we're gonna pull up. We have not yet seen Grandmaster Jim Tarzan.
Hmm.
He's playing Chelsea.
Very thematic here. White plays d4 in the center, trying to smother the black bishop. So, I mean, the problem is for black is this bishop at c5 being attacked now.
And
I suppose black should take on d4 once, of course, and then go back to a7. I mean, black might have made a mistake in the opening here. Still, it's a game. And this moves ahead.
And here's Elliot Winslow against Raynon Lardent. Raynon Lardent, 1800 player.
Oh, I like knight h5. It's a nice looking move in that it stops, you know, maybe black would play rook f3, or it's a nice move, knight h5. It's a good move. Black is definitely in this game. I enjoy these kind of positions for black generally. Maybe white should play bishop b1 and queen d3 here, but still black can queen c2. Okay, that's a more direct idea. I see. So if g6, is white really toying with bishop takes g6?
Let's break it open.
Yeah, that would be actually quite strong. Takes, queen takes, check. If queen g7, queen h5, and black can't play rook takes f3 because of queen takes f3. And if the knight goes back to g7, then knight g5 is incredibly strong, threatening queen h7 check. So maybe I sang the praises of knight h5 too soon.
And Kyron Griffith got it done already.
Wow.
Look at that.
Black might have to go back knight f6 here. Funny, knight h5 looked good, and then it looked bad. Ooh, mate on the board. Wow.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. That was just...
That's a nice little epaulette mate on the because the black king has shoulder pads at h6 and h8.
That's right. That's the name, and that's why it's like a sea captain wearing the epaulette.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's other variations of it.
Do they have different name depending on what pieces they are?
I don't know.
that would be funny, right?
I mean, chess terminology is so huge. It's amazing. They're everything from the fried liver attack to the epaulette mate and the Scheveningen variation, or however you pronounce it, and it's just openings and positions named after players and towns and countries and orangutan animals.
Judith and I, one time we were talking to Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Ralph Mamedov, and they were talking at the highest levels, like people pay a lot, even just for like a new unique variation of something, right? Like the study goes so deep in a particular variation, and then when you analyze it, they're like they got to call it something, right? So like they're saying like, oh, they would they would call it like the Baku variation, right? It's just you just name it something, right? And then it's kind of like your study, but you think that there's a limit of things that you
Well,
can name.
it seems to be that way almost because I mean, Caruana doesn't have an opening named after him. Wesley So doesn't.
Well, maybe not an
Um,
opening, but like a variation, though.
yeah, or a variation. I'm trying to think. I mean, it could be, it's a kind of an immortality,
And
right?
does a
That
variation have to be good for it to be a variation, right? What if you just played a
y-
variation that was like positionally bad, but now it's unique, and so you call it something?
yeah, I like Steve Brandywine came up with the slow Pez. So maybe there's things like that. I mean, this is another accelerated dragon, or Meroxy bind. And Black has got a really wonderful looking game here with these dancing knights, and White has self
Oh,
blockaded
jeez.
by playing A4, I think.
Look at
Although, of
yeah,
course, this has still got a long way to go.
look at this one. This is Nathan Fong.
Yeah, an epaulette mate on the side of the board. Oh, so this is some kind of what, Caro-Kann maybe? Black is got to be careful here. Queen H7? No,
That's
guess not. That might not. Yeah.
that's a challenge. Let's take a look at Nathan.
Hmm.
Nathan's looking all right over here.
Yeah, knight G6, Queen G8, knight F4, and then
Let's look at
something.
the
Queen E takes on H6.
and the other Calbert.
Scheveningen. You know, speaking of Wesley So, he may be one of the greatest E4, E5 players. He has this tremendous understanding of open games that reminds me of Keres or something like that. Players that sort of stuck to this. Well, Elliot got it done with that very sacrifice that we were talking about. Let's take a
Oh,
look at it.
yeah. Boom. That rook. Missed that. But he's in trouble anyway.
Oh yeah, he was down 2 pawns. No.
So let's go to Stearman's game against Jeffrey Wang.
Rook F3 was better, and Queen E8, Rook F8, but still was hopeless. Yeah, G6 was a lemon.
Yeah.
Funny how
Yeah.
Black fell apart there. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what Black is aiming for in a way, is a blockaded queen side. It's still going to be, if I'm White, I think I want to keep the queens on here with Queen H4 or something like that, or Queen D2, and play for B4 and C5 and liquidate some of this queenside action. Black is a little better here, but has some positional trumps. I don't like the White Rook A1 B1 thing here.
Back to Tarzan.
Yeah, so Elliot won. How are those rooks on A1 and B1 going to checkmate Black? I like that way. That's a great way of thinking. All right, this is an interesting, intense game here. A lot of piece play. A lot of piece play in the center. So, yeah.
Like, how's this gone for Chelsea? Because it
Well, black is under some issues here, and the main one is the bishop at b6 getting smothered, and so black needs a solution to that at some point. Knight e4, maybe start off with something like knight e4. Then white might play knight d5. This bishop, you've got to watch out when your bishop comes out to c5 and white can play e3 and d4 like happened here. This might not be the best diagonal for the bishop.
Let's go back to board one really quick here.
Getting kind of choked. What's the snap attack? That's a new word for me. The snap attack. What a great chess concept. The snap attack. It sounds like from the toolbox of some chess player. The snap attack. Brilliant.
What's the nature of the snap attack?
Yeah, what is the snap attack? I've never heard of it before.
To the snack attack.
White is really hanging in here. I think it's time for an exchange sacrifice, maybe rook d3. Can white really be worse in that position?
It's like if you take the knight and then pawn queen takes, like, it's got a nice diagonal there.
Yeah, and the knight sits really pretty on d5.
Yeah.
And black is going to have to play b5 or, find some way to infiltrate down the e file. Maybe it's not so easy for white to just do that.
But it's fun to, like, suggest sacrifices with pieces that aren't ours.
Right? Yeah. And it's, it's got to be considered. I mean, black's got some pressure here, and that knight on d3 is awfully strong.
The Jalalabad Gambit, says Kyron Griffith.
Jalalabad Gambit, no. But the snack attack, the snack attack and the snap attack. Learning something new every day. And Kyron and Elliot, while I've got you guys, I brought this up I think at the Chess Cafe, which we have on Mondays. Please join us, you all. Anybody who's watching is in The Art of Defense by Pinaglipati. This great concept came up. Did I? Or maybe I brought this up during the Edinburgh match. Edinburgh. Is it the Edinburgh match or the Edinburgh match?
Edinburgh.
Anyway, the thing was that there's this beautiful knight at d5 or maybe it's d4, and it's a beautiful knight and all, but when it gets activity and moves to f5, suddenly Pinaglipati likes it a lot more. I mean, it's not good enough for a grandmaster to have a wonderful knight at d4. It doesn't mean anything. It has to do something. It has to become active. Once it becomes active, then it's a far superior piece than just a nice knight at d4. And this was kind of a bit of a revelation for me in a way, to not just be happy with a strong piece, but to make that piece do something,
And Mike Walder accepted a draw here in this position.
Down the exchange, but the exchange is being won back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. He's getting tired and wants to.
That'll happen ready to eat because Elliot's done also, right? Oh wow! Look at this here.
And he's not down the exchange. Is he winning the exchange? Yeah, we have to have this explained.
It's Eric Lee against Aaron. 'Cause, 'Aaron, 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 '
And we've got the old weak. This is quite a complex position. Gosh. I mean, if you reduce it to its static elements, black is going to probably be better here in the end game. But there's a lot still going on. The possibility that white can invade the light squares on the queen side with the knight, or somehow take advantage of this poor knight at g7. If I'm white, I would have avoided exchanges and played bishop
Take it
to
easy.
b1 or something.
Kyron, he's got to take off. Thanks for playing, and we will see you next
Kyron.
week. Thanks for the commentary also. And check out Board 1. I think.
And what happened to Brian Escalante is right. Bye, Kyron. Congratulations.
He is. We ran through his game just briefly. We didn't talk too much about it. We'll get to it, but this is the game we're going over right now. This is he played that exchange sacrifice, but he did not recapture the pawn. He delivered the check first,
and then thought that this was going to be. You're right. And white's going for broke here, but now black's taking advantage of the back rank weakness. White hesitated here. Should have taken on d3 right away.
Should have taken the pawn. Yeah.
Now black is infiltrating. It's still tricky, but I mean, we've seen the awesomeness of Gadzhir's calculating ability. I mean, I think that's one of the things we've noticed over and over and over again is rapid and accurate calculating.
And here is.
Oh yeah, we've looked at this game.
Yeah.
White has a nice positional advantage here, backward, isolated pawn at e6. I mean, yeah, white is going to bring the knight up to e4 and exert maximum pressure here on black, who has a weakened kingside as well. This is tough for black, very tough.
Back to Jim Tarzan's game. Actually, let's take a look at Josiah Stearman.
Elliot, are you still in South Bay, or have you moved back to the East Bay?
Oh, look at that little.
Okay, Stearman lands his blow, knight c4.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to miss stuff like this if you're playing Josiah, I'm telling you. You know, he's going to be seeing this stuff. So now b5. If queen d3 takes on c4, black is better in this endgame here.
And he's perfectly fine just squeezing that out.
Yeah, he's got a sounder pawn structure, and white's gonna have some difficulties. Not fun.
Let's check Austin Mai. He's playing Kevin Fong.
White didn't give himself enough dynamic chances against Stearman. That's part of the problem. The position was too statically not so good. Well, black has the two bishops, probably slightly better prospects, if not considerably better prospects here. Oh, b5 probably is good enough for equality, I'd say. I wouldn't take on a5, I don't think. That would create a little bit more of an imbalance. And after rook a5, black has pressure on the a pawn, and white's got some problems. b5 keeps it closed for the knights and should be equal.
Going back to, I love following these types of games. This is Pranav, Siram, and Sas Hakobian. Completely closed up.
Yeah, Black has done well. I mean, Black has done quite well. Was in really a tough position before this, and now Black seems to have an equal game and maybe even some good chances by being able to play C5 at some point.
And
Black has got, it depends on who gets in C4, C5 first. That's going to make a big difference in this game.
And things did not go right for White because the queens have come off the board here. But down the exchange now.
Yeah, and okay, so let's see. How does Black bring home the bacon here? If Rook E2, Knight B4, I guess, or Knight C3. Knight C3 might do the trick. If Rook C2, Rook takes D3. And then White's only hope is to be able to hold that. Probably he can't, but if he could. White is completely on the edge of a precipice here. And Gadir has played Rook E2. White has no alternative but to play Knight C3 here. Oh, Knight C3, Rook D8.
Yeah, it's sort of like a problem that pawn is on A3, right? Because
I've seen moves like that before. Sure, Knight C3, Rook D8. Knight B4 is hopeless, right? D2, and then Rook over.
And Elliot's given Mike Walder the business for that early draw.
Yeah, that looked like Mike was doing well there in that position. Plays Rook D8 now. I guess D2 wasn't convincing enough.
And going to this position, I think...
I don't see what White's going to do here, except for just Black brings the king up now, and then what?
Seems like Brian Escalante is putting a lot of pressure here on...
oh gosh, yeah.
On Tom Mazer.
This is
Gobert's Tom Mazer.
This is Gobert's Tom Mazer, but this is lost.
You can still go Bears though. Like that doesn't end. That's that one's forever. Speaking of Go Bears, Nathan Fong here is White.
What was the school song?
Oh, no, yeah, we didn't. At least I didn't memorize the school song. I only knew the beat during the football games.
So like during a chess match, there'd be people going rah rah ree, kick him in the knee, rah rah ras, kick him in the other knee, right, or something like that.
I don't know where you studied and did that, but we definitely didn't do that at Cal when I was there.
Okay.
I didn't even play chess when I was there. Like I'd forgotten even how to play chess.
Oh, the chomp attack. The chomp attack. Was that from the Champs-Élysées or something like that? We should make up a whole list of openings. There is a Mechanics Institute position, and I wrote about it for the. It's been written about periodically over the years. It goes way back, and Berger was supposed to have solved it, and that's in one of the old newsletters. So there's kind of a Mechanics Institute position.
back to Tarzan's game.
So Michael says he needs the slower time controls, but I'm going to encourage Michael to play faster time controls. I'm going to recommend my favorite time control, which is 0 and 2 second increment. So that way you really get yourself into shape
get that mind
and a heart attack.
get that mind sharp. Paul during his arena was like, he's like, hey, this is gonna be like better for you because this one's gonna be game in 5. It's usually game in 3. He's like, well, I actually want it the other way. I said, oh, you want to do like game in 1 with 2 second increment? He's like, no, I want game in 0 with 2 second increment. I'm like, wow, that's a bold one. Well, you may lose right away.
Don't want the other player to have time to think. My instincts are well honed over 40 plus years of chess play, maybe 50 plus years of chess play.
And Brian Escalante got the win.
Okay.
Mazer resigned.
Yeah, that was looking discouraging. Yeah.
And what we were saying before, this is Stearman and Jeffrey Wang, but this is just about playing the end game and taking advantage of the isolated pawns for white.
For black.
For black to take.
Well, no, I mean, this is okay. What can you say about this? I would say this should be drawn. I mean, that B pawn is really strong, I think. If white were to lose that B pawn, then that would not be good. But with white rook being able to get behind that B pawn, come on, I don't know.
And Gadir won his game. He looked like he was winning. But let's go back because it looked like things were looking pretty favorable for Stearman.
No, I think this is kind of a logical outcome of that. He didn't get that much out of the opening.
Oh, no, he didn't. Yeah.
He might have missed something in here, but white just...
Yeah, this is... But it'll certainly be a challenge for white to try to...
yeah, white's probably wishing he had pawn to g3 in already here, because now rook b1 can be met by rook fc8, and then nothing seems to be able to stop black from sort of slipping around behind the pawn. Even then, even if white adopted a passive, well, it's... The black rook can get behind the pawn, then Winslow thinks this is winning for black. It could be. Rook b1, rook fc8. I guess rook b1 is almost a waste of time. How about starting with rook e1, then rook takes b4, rook e7. White's a little bit hampered here by the fact that he hasn't made Luft yet. It's actually quite a problem. Yeah, white's in trouble.
Taking a look at...
counterattack. He's going for counterattack, but it's probably a good idea.
The Sebi Meister, Sebi Suarez, taking on Daniel Lin.
Oh my gosh. Sebi, what's your knight doing at b1?
Nowhere to go.
Well, white's got only one solution to that problem.
Gotta yank off those pawns somehow.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Discouraging. Wait, why didn't white play knight c4? Maybe the bishop at b5 is trapped? Looked like knight c4 was the move. I don't know what's going on here. White's in trouble, obviously. Yeah, this is just bad.
Let's check on. And white has offered a draw.
What, Sebi?
Oh, sorry, Jeffrey Wang against Stearman.
Oh, that whole draw offer thing.
Yep.
So you're going a pawn down. Why do you expect the IM to give you a draw? It's nuts. It's not going to happen. Yeah. Of course, white would like a draw.
We just want to see Paul Whitehead go crazy when this is a lower.
I bet you though. I bet theoretically this is probably a draw. I think it's hard to believe that with two rooks on the board. I mean, of course, black is going to play a lot of tricks and is going to know the correct way to place his pieces for maximum effect. So. G3, and then what? Black plays rook e8, and then puts one rook on f5 and the other rook on e2 or something. He probably can tie one of the white rooks down, maybe. And white's going to try, if it's just one of those things, one of those positions. White needs to play actively and strengthen his position as much as possible.
Looks like it'll be a challenge for white. But look at this game with Aaron Nikoski playing white against Eric Lee. We got the knight versus bishop. What do you like?
Knight, of course.
Well, especially you're up upon.
It's a blockading knight, yeah. Plus, it's a beautiful blockading knight. And black is winning, of course. Well, not of course, but I mean, these positions are this is kind of a textbook win. Should be a textbook win for black.
And David Asked rebounded from his loss in round one, and he beat Andrew Ballantyne. So he's back on the board. Let's take a look at Austin Mai real quick.
White's transposing into a king and pawn ending, a pawn down in the Nikoski game. It's hopeless. Okay, so white did play b5, and then black responded with c5. So we have another blockading knight at b6. Complex, but I don't think white should be any worse here. Although black maybe if black can stick a piece on d4, a rook on d4 rather. So maybe black is better. Coming up is one of the rooks to the d file, and then rook d4. This is tough little game. I mean, the a5 pawn is weak too with knight b3. I don't know. Oh, okay. So Hosea looks like he made a mistake, and the rook has to return to f8, and that's after that the rook. Well, then the rook could eventually. I'm not sure that black can extricate himself there. Now rook f5. Yeah, so if rook d6, rook e2. Yep. So rook a2, d5, rook, yeah, that's equal. I think rook a2, rook a2 threatens rook d2. Yeah.
So
I think white is holding this.
and Stearman playing quick.
Sure. Of course. Rook A2 is a great move. And Rook D1 is a good reply. And now black wants to march the D pawn up. But now white, with the rook on the second rank, maybe white can play F4 or something like that.
Nathan Fong won his game.
He plays it, F4. And that really restricts the black rook. And allows the white king to come up to F3. So this is a very good move, F4, I think.
Now, does black come around and I was just about to say push H5 or something? H5, H6.
As soon as black plays rook FD5, I mean, white's going to go bang rook back onto the 7th rank. King F3 here. I mean, black has still got something to play with, for sure, but... Oh, Elliot shows a pretty variation that's completely wrong.
Oh, let me go back to that. Yeah.
King F3, Rook D3, King E4, D5 mate is completely bogus because because white
King
because
F3,
why, Elliot?
King
Oh,
F3.
he's just kidding. Rats! I had my chance to call Elliot out, and
Well, you saw it quick because like
he's
you
just
called
kidding.
it out. You called it out fast.
Of course, white plays king takes D3 at the end of that. Not to be pedantic or anything.
And you leave it open for him to solve his own. Because why, Elliot? All right.
I think King F3 was more positive looking than Rook A check, and checking the king off the back rank. Why? I don't get it.
Yeah. Check Jim Tarzan.
Now black threatens Rook D2 check. So white probably has to return. Yeah, I guess he could play King F3 now, but that didn't help white any.
Now it appears Chelsea's up a pawn. But what are we not seeing?
Well, the black queen is attacked. And where can it go? It can go... Doesn't want to go to E6, I think, because of knight F4. Although, then it could, you know... Tactical here. Black has to be careful. The knight at B4 is kind of loose. The bishop at A7 is out of play. Black plays Rook E5 to try to sort of take the bull by the horns here. I understand her frustration with the bishop locked out of the game like that, but let's see what happens. White threatens bishop E4 now, winning a piece. Does this really solve her problems?
Oh. Because the C5 pawn is sort of sitting out there.
Yeah, and the E5 pawn is threatened.
Although her time's not good. She's got like 4 minutes and change.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just enough of a mess for black to sort of kind of hold this, or try to. You gotta like white, though, I would say, being the exchange up. Queen A4 is almost wins on the spot. Knight C6. Queen A4, Knight C6 is forced. And then maybe the rook comes over, or I don't know. Queen A4, Knight C6, F4? I don't know.
Look at this endgame between Kalen Melville. and Michael Xiao.
Oh, this is, well, Black can resign.
Black can resign this position?
The knight is lost. King F1. Why didn't White
Oh,
play
it's trapped.
F1?
Yeah, it's like totally trapped. And Josiah Stearman wins the game.
He swindled a rook ending, he says in the chat.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
let's take a look at that. Check. And the king goes to h.
A little mating. Yeah, White gave up the second rank, which was silly. Let's see what happened.
Oh, yeah, he just walked into it. Yeah. And then rook h2 coming.
What happened? What happens if rook f takes g5? If f takes g5? No, before that.
Oh,
instead of rook takes d6.
Oh, f takes g5.
Yeah, put the position back before White plays rook takes d6.
Oh, before rook takes d6.
Yeah, rook takes d6 is. Black plays rook f2. Yeah. Oh well.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, rook a8 check was really bad. The rook, there did no help, and that was a nice move. G5, very sweet.
And look at
Way activating the black rook and threatening mate, which White completely overlooked.
and Alan Finkelstein delivers this mate on the board against Nick Brown. Nice looking mate. Congratulations. Big win by Josiah there against a tough opponent. And Eric Lee is going to get it done here.
So no upsets, although Tarzan's still playing.
He is still playing. Let's jump to that game because that's the big game left right here.
Oh, Black is winning this. Oh, okay. This is the Tarzan game.
Yeah.
Oh, knight d4, undermining the bishop at a7, which has been Black's issue this whole opening. Knight d4 looks like what? Knight d4, bishop d4, bishop c5, bishop d4, bishop h7, check wins.
Eric Lee.
So this loses a piece. Knight c6, b takes c6,
Oh, yeah.
and e4.
That's right.
Yeah.
These two were teammates at the U.S. Amateur Team West. And,
Well,
now they're
poor
enemies.
Chelsea has lost a piece here. Actually, there's two ways to win a piece in this position.
Yeah, look at that.
Knight c6, b takes c6. White can just play bishop c5, knight c5, and queen a3, and the knight is pinned and trapped. Oh no, Black can play rook b5.
Daniel Lin beats the Sebi Suarez. And Jonah Bush, who was board 3 on this team that played in the Amateur West,
Wow.
is saying board 2
Teammates
versus
all
board 4.
playing together.
And as we remember, board 1 on that team was Kyron Griffith.
That's right. So everybody's playing.
Yeah. And actually, in the open tournament, they're going to be.
Is Tarzan going to miss this win of a piece here? It would be hard to believe.
Imagining he's figuring out beyond that. Arthur Braden, thank you for hanging out. And he's wondering if there's a third way to win the piece. A piece.
Yeah, maybe start off with bishop e4 or something like that. Yeah.
here we go. Abhinav Pinaglipati wins his game too. Let's take a look for now at this game here. Pranav Sairam and Sacrifice and Crush Sas Hakobian. Bishops are opposite color.
Yeah. Blacks maintain some advantage, but it could disappear rapidly here. This is probably a draw, although black's better.
Let's follow Austin Mai. Both rooks are on the board. Austin Mai is up a pawn.
I think Sosa is playing for the loss there. Oh, this is white in trouble.
Yep. Yep.
Rook c7. Oh, especially since it was black's move as well. I didn't even realize that. Black has two passed pawns on the queen side. Check out the Tarzan game again.
Back here. Oh, something happened? Oh no, white can still how do I take this piece, right? Now, is there anything that
White's a rook ahead. So what's the problem here? Black has some queen h4, but that can be defended against. So we're all getting tired here. Michael Walter says he's only ahead, but actually I think White's about to be a rook ahead here after taking on c5. So
right.
Everyone's getting kind of punch drunk.
And then Mike Walter's like, oh, it's his move.
Mike Walter's like, I'm glad I agreed to a draw.
I'm tired, yeah. Or it would have been your game we would be watching right now saying, hey, what was he thinking? And Sebi's tired. You're tired. You played the arena. You should have played the arena.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a marathon. And Austin Mai wins his game.
I don't even see a cheapo for black here. Oh, I guess he can try to come into f3 with the queen and then Elliot's trying to have black play queen g2 mate here, which is, you know. Is this the is this the last game of the round?
No, now the two games that I have up, Kalen's about to win his game. But Pranav Sairam here against Sauce. And Judith, if you are listening, how many games in total are still out? Because I have 3 up in front of me, but I know there's a lot more. 6 more. Okay. So there's 3 games I'm not covering. Who are the other active games? If you don't mind, if you have the time, because I can pull those games up.
Well, this is Tarzan consolidating. If Queen H4, Queen G3. Have you seen those music videos of musicians from all over the world playing together on one song? Like they'll take a Stevie Wonder song or something, and then there'll be like people from Cuba and people from Africa and people from, all over the world playing
Yeah.
to this one song.
Yeah, I've seen that.
There's a whole series of them. And the chess world, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the chess world. We're all playing together in different places through the internet.
Well, I mean, that's sort of what these hybrid tournaments, and apparently FIDE's approved the World Cup to be played as a hybrid, and basically you get a bunch of people together at one site with a couple of arbiters, and people can play the same event as long as people are all together in different sites in different parts of the world or the country, as long as there's arbiters there. So, for example, we could partner with Charlotte Chess Center and Marshall Chess Club and St. Louis Chess Club and Mechanics, and we can have 200 players in a tournament, and each site can have their 50, and we can all actually play one tournament, because all 200 players are being monitored by the players at the respective sites, right?
Right. Just as all these musicians are being recorded and filmed.
Right.
Yeah.
And FIDE is approved where the games are FIDE rated, like actual FIDE rated, not online rated, like actually FIDE rated. So,
Why are they making the exception?
they're basically saying
Oh,
that.
because the players are seeing each other.
Well, not all of them, right? Because a player at Mechanics may be playing a player at Marshall. The difference is that there's arbiters there watching the players.
I see.
And
So it's like the old telephone matches or something.
Correct. And there's a supervisor on site.
Right, gotcha.
Hey there, how's it going? That Alan?
Well, I mean, chess has shown itself to be remarkably adaptable to all this stuff.
Yeah, we're sort of lucky. Ninja Force.
Yeah, we should look at a different game than Tarzan's. Tarzan has got this one completely in the bag.
And Elliot Winslow
Rook,
refuses to take Tarzan's game seriously now.
Yeah, I agree with Elliot.
Okay, so we'll go to Nicholas Wang's game, and you'll take that one seriously? Here it is, right here.
Maybe.
There it is. That is over.
Now that's a chess game.
Like, what is this? Some Scholastic tournament? Oh, I got another game here.
Light Dragon beats Nicholas Wang, huh? Or is it the other way around?
No, the other way around.
Okay.
Nicholas Wang. Here's another game that's going. Patrick Donnelly. Patrick Donnelly against is it Sean Wu? Yep.
Black is in serious trouble here. This is just lost. Two connected pass pawns are coming up for black. Rook a5 d6 probably will do the trick. Threatening rook c8 and d7. So what can black do? Oh, you can play rook a6. No. Yeah, rook a6 is the only move. But d7 just wins on the spot. Oh, why didn't he play d7? Oh, now black has got great. Black could exchange rooks there, probably. Maybe. Wow. White had an easy win here.
And Tarzan has converted that game. And that Arthur Braden says same thing. D7 would have been it.
G7 was a one-move win. Hope springs eternal in the chess players. So rook a6 is forced. Or rook f6.
What are you playing with over there, Paul?
Pretzels.
Pretzels? It sounds like you got like
A whole jar of them.
bones or something.
Yeah, bones. White's not finding anything to do here. This game is puzzling me.
What about this one here? Pranav and will standings be updated to the end of this round? All right, so
This White has managed to pull off a win here, or it looks like it.
San Jose Chess Club. This is the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. We always post the standings as soon as the event is over. You won't have to wait till tomorrow. Do it right away. Actually, the standings will be up about 2 or 3 minutes.
So's found a way to lose this.
2 or 3 minutes after the round.
Look at that, bishop d5. Now rook d5 and it's all over. Incredible.
Yeah, you need to take it. Yeah, mate on the board. Pranav Siron, fantastic.
Now rook d8 check.
Whoops, I kind of messed up there. You're seeing like half a board there.
Well, poor Sos.
There we go. Fix that.
Well, Patrick has made some progress here. This is lost for black, obviously.
Lost for black, but still has to figure it out.
I think the white king can just, instead of this, the white king could have just gone over to b6. King c5, king b6. Whoa.
White may not know exactly what to do here.
Yeah, I think that's for sure. Now white has to try to play h5 or something. Or still probably a win. Rook f7, rook f6.
Wow, they drew by repetition.
Unbelievable.
So what needs to be done in this position then?
Well, white shouldn't have played c7. He should have played just king c5 and king b6. That would have been the end of the game. Black would have gotten checkmated with rook g8 check. If he tries to avoid it by playing rook f8, then rook takes g6 and everything falls. Yep, c7 was... We've seen a lot of bad endgames. And some great endgames, too.
While we're waiting for the standings to be updated, let's just give a bonus action and watch Josiah Stearman play some bullet. Judith, is that the last game for the round.
Who's Bullet Master 3R?
I don't know.
Bullet Master.
Don't know. If anyone in the chat knows, let us know.
What's the time control? 30 seconds each or something? I hate this stuff.
Can barely follow the chat. See,
Yeah.
this is what you wanted to do, though.
No, but not without an increment. You know, you can lose.
You can't play like this?
I can't do this.
He gained 3 points on that. He gained 3 rating points. Unfollow Josiah. No, I don't want to unfollow him because I want to see this.
Yeah, this stuff is just nuts.
This is like offensive to your viewing.
Well, you know, I did enjoy watching Fallujah
And
play Puzzle Rush.
Standings are updated. Standings are updated, everyone. So if you just click on there, you will see the standings. I'm not going to read them off because there's still a lot of people with 2 out of 2, but Gadir Gusenov, Brian Escalante, Jim Tarzan, Eric Lee, Elliot Winslow, Austin Mai, Max, Gedajlovic, Nicholas Wang, Jonah Bush, Josiah Stearman, Pranav Sairam, Abi Pinaglipati, Arthur Liu, Nathan Fong, Daniel Lin. All names we know, all names 2 out of 2. And then notables at 1.5, Mike Walder, Kyron Griffith, Alan Finkelstein, and so on and so on. 73 players in the Tuesday Night Marathon. And
Congratulations.
Judith getting it done, posting everything right away as usual. Thank you so much. And we're going to have an exciting next 3 weeks of chess as top players are going to be fighting each other out for the top spot. And yeah, it'll be exciting. How you hanging in there, Paul?
Back on Thursday, right? For the Thursday Night Marathon.
That's right. Paul and I will be back Thursday to cover round 3 of the Tuesday Night Marathon, or the Thursday Night Marathon. That is 1 game per week, game in 60 plus 5. So we'll be covering that action, and the chess never stops at the Mechanics Institute. And then we have the Mechanics Institute mascot right here on my lap. That is Lucy saying hi to everyone.
Lucy?
Yeah. She was just hanging out on my lap over here. So
Does Lucy want a pretzel?
she would eat it if I gave it to her. No doubt. She'll definitely eat it. The one thing she has an aversion to, she won't eat it, is bananas. Like, she just looks at it like I insulted her. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining, tuning in, being a part of the action. I'm looking forward to these next few weeks. The remaining 6 more rounds to go.
Yeah, 6 rounds. We're going to see some Grandmaster versus Grandmaster action at some point, I think.
Oh, for sure. And I am versus Master. So, all right, everyone. I think we're going to
And Arthur, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Alexi, and everyone else in the chat. Mike, Elliot, everyone. Always fun to do it, and we're excited that we've been a year. It's been almost a year since we've shut down, but we see opening on the horizon, and we're kind of we've been nonstop, keeping everyone engaged. Really proud of that, and we're happy to do it, and just fun to see all everyone hanging out with us on Tuesday nights. So we're gonna raid the Chess Dojo with David Pruis. So we'll do that, and we will sign off. Thank you, everyone. We will be back Thursday night for the Thursday Night Marathon, and take care, everyone.